In June 2006, MySpace was the most visited website on planet Earth. It beat Google. It beat Yahoo. It beat MSN. 5 years later, it sold for less than what an NBA bench player makes in a season. This is the story of how a glittery, auto-playing, HTML mangled empire got nuked from orbit by the guy who owned Fox News. Welcome to Burn Rate. MySpace launched in August 2003. Tom Anderson and Chris DeWolf spun it up in Los Angeles, and within a year it had 5 million users. By 2005, it was the default hangout of the internet. You had a profile. You had a top 8. You had a glitter cursor that followed your mouse for reasons no one could explain. And you had Tom. Tom Anderson was your first friend by default, which made him statistically the most popular man in human history. For a brief window in 2006, Tom's smiling profile photo was seen by more Americans per day than the actual sitting president. The top 8 was the real engine. You could rank your 8 closest friends, in order, in public, on your profile. This was peak 2006 emotional warfare. Demoting your best friend from slot 2 to slot 4 was a declaration of war. Couples broke up over it. Ranking your real friends in public was somehow socially acceptable, and it was glorious. And the profiles. MySpace let you inject raw HTML and CSS directly into your page. You could change every color, every font. You could embed a song that autoplayed at maximum volume. You could install a glitter cursor. You could install a profile stalker counter that told you exactly how many times your ex had visited. The platform handed teenagers a loaded gun, pointed at web design, and said, "Go nuts." They went nuts. It was also briefly the most important music platform on earth. Before Spotify, before SoundCloud, Arctic Monkeys broke on MySpace, Lily Allen broke on MySpace, Calvin Harris was discovered on MySpace. The whole 2007 alt-pop scene basically happened on a single domain. Then, in July 2005, Rupert Murdoch showed up with a checkbook. News Corp bought MySpace's parent company, Intermix, for $580 million, outbidding Viacom by $30 million at the last minute. Murdoch paid roughly 7 times revenue, justified almost entirely on the assumption that they could lock in a fat search advertising deal. On paper, a steal. In practice, the exact moment the clock started ticking. Because nothing says agile web platform like the 90-year-old owner of the New York Post. Murdoch's team did what old media always does. They installed executives. They added layers. Engineers who wanted to ship a feature now needed approval from 7 vice presidents, one of whom thought Ruby on Rails was a children's book. Meanwhile, the product was choking on its own freedom. Every page was a seizure of animated GIFs, pink Comic Sans, and a song screaming at full volume. You'd open a profile at work. Crush 40 would start blasting. Your boss would fire you. On dial-up, a tricked-out profile took 8 seconds to load because the browser was fetching 3 background images, a flash music player, and a tiled wallpaper of a skull. Facebook's clean white pages, by contrast, loaded instantly, and then came Facebook. In September 2006, Facebook opened to the general public. Clean, minimal, white, no autoplay, no glitter. Your mom could use it and not think she'd broken the computer. Power users started drifting over. MySpace noticed, panicked, and did the worst possible thing. They monetized harder. Banner ads, pop-up ads, takeover ads, ads inside ads. A band's profile page looked like a Times Square billboard had a stroke. In August 2006, MySpace signed a $900 million ad deal with Google, the very deal Murdoch used to justify the acquisition. Small catch, it required traffic volumes they had no realistic path to hitting. They missed the targets. The revenue never materialized. The spreadsheets wept. By May 2009, Facebook officially passed MySpace in US monthly traffic. The crown was gone. MySpace tried redesigns. They tried pivots. They tried rebranding as whatever buzzword was on the whiteboard that Tuesday. None of it worked. The engineering debt was too deep. The executives were too busy producing PowerPoints about synergies to notice the ship was already underwater. In June 2011, News Corp sold MySpace to a company called Specific Media for $35 million, a $545 million loss. Justin Timberlake was a minority investor, which is the most 2011 sentence ever written. He promised a music-focused relaunch. MySpace 2.0 shipped in 2013, and on launch day, it quietly deleted everyone's old blog posts, comments, and millions of uploaded MP3s. Surprise! The corporate journey only got dumber. In 2016, 16, Time Inc. bought Specific Media's parent, Viant. Then Meredith bought Time. Then Meredith spun off the digital pieces that got tangled up with Yahoo's parent company. MySpace ended up nested inside corporate Russian dolls, 4 owners deep while nobody remembered they owned the thing. And then, in March 2019, the bombshell. MySpace quietly admitted that during a server migration, they had lost every single song, photo, and video uploaded between 2003 and 2015. 50 million songs. 12 years of internet music history, just gone. No backup, no recovery. The largest accidental deletion of cultural artifacts in internet history, announced in a support page footnote. The real winner in all this? Tom. Tom Anderson cashed out during the News Corp sale, retired a multimillionaire in his 30s, and now posts absurdly gorgeous travel photography on Instagram. While MySpace became a Harvard Business School case study, Tom was on a beach in Bali. Tom won. Tom always wins. The lesson here is simple. When old media buys new media, old media kills new media. Every time. Murdoch paid $580 million to learn that the internet does not care about your quarterly earnings call. And somewhere out there, a glitter cursor is still loading. That's the burn.